Americans with $500 saved for a down payment and jobs that paid him enough to afford the $68 a month house payment. These had all been $10,000 houses then, with 30-year fixed mortgages at 5.5% interest. That wasn't expensive, even then, for a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom house. Today, however, these same houses in Green Lakes, now 30 years old, were selling for $86,000 and more, and at 14% interest rates. Many similar housing areas in Miami, depending upon their locations, were slums now, but not Green Lakes. The wide curving streets and avenues, named as well as numbered, were lined with tall ficus trees and Australian pines. There were sleeping policemen, painted yellow every 100 yards or so, road bumps that didn't let a driver get into high gear. Many owners, as they prospered, had added bathrooms, Florida rooms, glass-enclosed porches, garages, and carports, and most of the homes, if not all, had their backs in new Florida rooms facing man-made square lakes with water the color of green milk. The lakes were originally rock and sand quarries and much too dangerous for swimming. At least a dozen people had drowned before the Green Lakes Homeowners Association had banned swimming altogether. But the lakes had Dade County pines and jogging paths around their borders, and in the evenings there would usually be a cooling breeze sweeping across the water. As neighborhoods go, Green Lakes was a nice place to live. The subdivision was close enough to Hialeah for most shopping purposes, but far enough away to avoid the Latin influx, and still much too expensive for a lot of black families. These conditions would all change with time, of course, but when they did, the houses would probably appreciate to $100,000, and variable interest rates would be sitting in the low 20s. The residents who lived in Green Lakes now were lucky, and they knew it. The crime rate was low because of an effective crime watch program. There hadn't been a homicide in this subdivision for more than 2 years. Hoke spotted the blue and white squad car parked in front of the house. The hatless harness officer was leaning against a ficus tree at the curb, smoking a cigarette and talking to 2 teenage girls. The girls, wearing tank tops, jeans, and running shoes, kept their 10-speed bikes between themselves and the cop. As Hoke pulled to a stop behind the police car, the radio in the blue and white crackled. Aggressive birds sang back from the trees, and sprinklers whirred on a nearby lawn. A few houses down, a dog barked from behind closed doors. As Hoke and Sanchez got out of the car, the officer, a Latin with square-cut sideburns down to and even with his dark eyes, moved away from the tree and told the 2 girls to get moving. They rode away for about 100 yards, stopped and looked back. "Sergeant Mosley," Hoke said. "Homicide." He glanced at the officer's nameplate. "Where's your hat, Garcia?" "In the car." "Put it on. You're under arms. You're supposed to be covered." Garcia got his hat from the car and put it on. The hat looked 2 sizes too small resting on his abundance of black curly hair. He looked ridiculous in the small cap with its scuffed visor, and Hoke could see why the man didn't want to wear it. On the other hand, he could also get a decent haircut. "Where's the decedent?" Hoke asked. "In the house. Officer Hannigan's inside." Sanchez started toward the house. Hoke indicated the 2 girls who were inching back, pushing their bikes. "Don't let a crowd gather. Before long, gapers will show up, so keep them across the street." Officer Hannigan, a rangy blonde in her early 20s with purple eye makeup and coral lipstick, opened the door before Hoke and Sanchez reached the front porch. She had licked or gnawed most of the lipstick from her long lower lip. "Don't you have a hat either?" Hoke said. "It's in the car," she flushed. "Besides, Sergeant Roberts said it was optional whether we wore hats or not." "No," Hoke said. "It's not an option. Anytime you're wearing a sidearm, you'll keep your head covered. If you want me to, I'll explain the reasons why to Sergeant Roberts." "I'd rather you didn't." "Where's the decedent?" "Down the hall in the small bedroom across from the master bedroom. We didn't go into the room, but I looked at it. The boy, from the door. He's an OD, all right, and was DOA as reported." "That's very helpful, Hannigan."